So we've been kind of having fun trying to learn how to use our ovens, but some questions that we had were roasting vegetables.
Okay.
Like, what's the best thing to put it on? Broil, bake, convection. And then there's like the convection and there's the multi-rack. What does that mean? And how do we use that? And just some good tips for us.
My general answer is, how should you roast vegetables? Convection. How should you cook meats? Convection. How do we do the rice and the pork tenderloin at the same time? Convection. Are you catching a theme here? Pretty much convection for everything. Convection just means that those fans in the back of the oven, they have heating elements behind them, and they're moving this new hot air around. So the entire oven is 375 or 400 degrees, whatever we've set it to, versus a normal oven where the heat's only coming from the bottom and that hot air rises. So if I've got my rice like we did today and my pork, the pork that's down the bottom is blocking the heat as it's coming up and the rice isn't cooking very even. Or if you're cooking cookies, you do 2 trays of cookies. The ones on the bottom are going to cook faster on the bottom. The ones on the top aren't going to cook much on the bottom at all. Instead, behind it, we've got those fans and they're moving this hot air around. A food's going to cook more even. The temperature is going to be more accurate and the food's going to cook a little bit faster. As far as a few things specific to yours, we'll go ahead and go through the settings. So as I mentioned, I use convection for pretty much everything. So go ahead and pick convection. So on your particular oven, you've got convection bake with multi-rack, convection roast, and convection broil.
Okay. Roast on there.
Yeah. So it's a little confusing. I'll go through what they are, but then I'll make it really easy and tell you that I only use one of those settings. So convection bake means the fan's on. Convection just means the air's moving. Bake means the heat's coming from the bottom. So convection and bake together means the heat's coming from the bottom and the air's moving around. It's okay. It works okay. It's not great because it's not completely even. Next, we'll skip the middle one. That's my favorite. Next one would be convection. We have it here. And roast. Roast means the broiler's coming on some. It's cooking from the top faster. I don't do roasted vegetables with that on roast or meats because I don't want the top more done and the bottom's not getting done. And broil would be the same thing. Broil is just extremely high heat from the top. So that's why I use convection bake multi-rack. And that means that every rack is getting the same heat throughout the entire oven cavity. Super easy to use. Your food cooks faster. It'll be more moist. It'll be better brown. And your temperature and cooking times, they'll be more accurate.
All right. We need to start practicing.
Okay, and then let's talk about 2 things that maybe you've read online and they can have an impact on cooking with convection. One is, what if you want to cook the same time? You've always made grandma's chocolate chip cookie recipe and it always takes 15 minutes at 350 degrees. You want it to take 15 minutes. Instead of cooking at 350 on convection, just drop the temperature by 25 degrees. So if your recipe was for 350, then you go to 325. If your recipe was 400, then you'll go to 375. For most meats and vegetables, I don't make that change. It'll just cook a little bit faster. The other thing that you'll want to check, some ovens, this says convection multi-rack right now, some ovens have already converted it for you. So if you're going to drop the temperature by 25 degrees so the cooking time is the same, you'll want to go back and either check your owner's manual or go to your settings and take a look. And you're going to want to see if there's a setting that involves changing the temperature for convection. There you go. So this says auto recipe conversion is on. That means if I set the temperature, it will automatically, on convection, it'll automatically drop it. So if you're not sure how to use convection and you want your cooking times to be about the same, by having the setting on where it automatically converts, if your cookie recipe said 350, just set it to 350. It will adjust the temperature so your cooking times will be about the same as what they were on your old oven for grandma's chocolate chip cookie recipe.
Less thinking, perfect.
Yep.